Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Please welcome our speaker tonight, Peter. Hey, Peter. Yeah. My name's Peter. I'm an alcoholic. This is section 1.
That's right.
Is for me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you. I love to drink. I enjoy drinking. You know, I don't know about you, but it's an alcoholics meeting, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I did a couple of drugs too, but I like drinking. I'm wearing it. That's the way I like to drink, you know. I was not a sipper. I didn't like to sip. I like that, you know, I like that. You know, when it goes up into the eyes. Remember that part? Oh, I love that part. I miss that. You know, the eye explosion. I love that. You know, when that thing exploded, it was like sunset in the head. You know, it was like, oh. Everything was in perfect order. And, man, if that still worked for me, I'd still be doing it, because I really like that explosion. I don't know about you, but I'm a high drama junkie. I like everything exploding, all at the same time, everything. That's fun for me, you know. Normal is like, has no interest for me. Never did. Never wanted to be normal. Never tried to be. Didn't want to be. Yet the day before I got here, 24 and a half years ago, the day before I got here, day -1 on this program, all I wanted was one normal day in a row. You know, a day when you wake up in the morning, you know, and go to work maybe. Come home, have a little dinner, watch the tube, go to sleep. Just a normal day. Normal day for me was coming to sometime before noon, rolling over on the end anyway, rolling over on that mattress that was on the floor to my little box of stuff that I had there, you know, in those little orange crates that you kind of put up on the side for your table. That was my table. And on my little, you know, nightstand orange crate table, across from the little TV with the rabbit ears and the tinfoil with nothing really playing, just stuff moving. Is that a show or is that a, who knows? But stuff kind of moving on there. And I come to, you know, before noon, because I had a day in front of me, so I had to get up before noon and smoke that little roach that was in the dish there looking for, is that a roach? Yeah, it's a roach, isn't it? Yeah. Oh! Yeah, I think that's a roach. And then go in the bathroom and do what you do, and then come back to that little table again and look for those little vials that I had, a lot of little vials, and you know, with the little, you know, the little pin in there. You stick the pin in there, and you take the cap, and with the ashes and the lint and the dust and the whatever, you get that. Ah! Oh! 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 And then out to the kitchen for your coffee, you know, and something to sweeten it with, Cointreau or Drambuie or whatever was left up there. Yeah, that's well, that looks sweet, you know, or whatever. But I didn't drink in the morning. That was just to sweeten the coffee. And so you have your little, and that's the kind of the way I would start my day with my, hire me. Come on, hire me. And I'd go out and look for a job every day. That's what I did every day. And usually they didn't hire me, but once in a while they did. And I went to work, you know, that way. Off in the corner. Huh? Do what? Oh, yeah, I'm here. No. Yeah, could we change a few of these things here? And could I have a little money up front, you think? You know? That was kind of that's the guy I used to be, you know? I never did anything unless there was a little something in it for Pete. What's the point, you know? I grew up right here in Hollywood. I was born in Hollywood. I grew up actually down at the beach down in Balboa. My mom and dad had these 5 kids, Pat, Pete, Pug, Peg, and Pam. So I had a reason to drink, you know? Go to your room, Pat, Poop, Pit, whatever your name is. Go to your room. And I never got enough, you know, attention, love, money, property, and whatever. I just never got enough. There were only 2 of them, and there were 5 of us. And I know I just never got enough. And I stand before you a pig. In every area of my life, I might add. I am Pete the Pig out of Pat, Pete, Pug, Peg, and Plant. And I like to, I'm a pig. What can I tell you? I like to do everything too much. More is better for me. I didn't care about the quality. Quantity, I want more. Is that all we got? Well, what are we going to do when we run out, you know? Well, let's get some more. And I was loud. I'm mellow now. I'm sober and mellow now. But when I was loud, and I'd go to that dealer's house anytime, day or night, mostly night. Bang, bang, bang! What do you got? You know, and Jesus, you know, here, take it, go. You sure you don't want one of these rubber blanky checkies? You know, go. Oh, I'm making too much noise? You know, oh, God, go. All right, we'll be back. You know, my dealer hated me. I used to not pay him very much either because he wanted me out of there so fast that, don't even come in. Here, just go. Banks, hospitals, dealers. Noise, man, you get immediate attention. Any of those places. I've tried them in all of them. And sometimes it works, you know. Anyway, I didn't plan on being an alcoholic. I don't know about you, but my parents had other ideas in mind. You know, they wanted me to be an engineer. In fact, I went to Carnegie Tech on an engineering scholarship. It's called Carnegie Mellon now, but when I was there, the Mellon hadn't popped up at the dough, and it was still Carnegie Institute of Technology, and I went there on an engineering scholarship because I was good with numbers. I couldn't read, but I was good with numbers. You know, your brain kind of works overload on some area, I think. If you can't do something, you do something else. I couldn't read, so numbers were my deal. And I was really good with them, and I just couldn't figure out what to do with them because I couldn't read. But I was good with them, so when they gave them to me, you know, I always got an A in that, and they moved me on. I went there on an engineering scholarship, and it was 6 months before they found out I was in the drama department spending the engineering funds in the fine arts department, and they didn't like that. But that's kind of the way I did everything, the wrong way. If there was a wrong way to do it, that's what I did, because I was special, you know? I was bitching. I was cool. I was scary. I was mysterious. You know, all the things I wanted to be, except normal. I did not want to be normal. You know, who wants to be normal? You know, what's the point? It'd be like being a sheep. You know, like just a worker among workers. And like in here, in this Scientology cult thing we got going here, you know. Bah. Keep coming back. Keep coming. Let go and let God. Oh, easy does it. Bah. I'd like to thank Mary for the cookies. Bah. I'd like to thank Johnny for holding the door open. I'd like to thank Billy for 24 days in a row. Bah. Bah. You know, I sat here day after day after day after day after day hearing people up here at the podium going, oh, yeah, hi, my name's Bob. I'm 11 years sober. Oh, I got the wife back and the car back and the life back. And everything's back. Oh, I'm having such a good time now. Oh, I'm having such a, oh, my God, I wanted to shoot a bullet through Bob and my head. Just listen to the shit. If that's what it's going to be like, kill me now. Please, kill me now. Oh, my God. Oh, you're having a blast. I can see it. You know, and I just kept going to these meetings because my first meeting I went to was this gay candlelight book study over there in West Hollywood Park. I went in there by accident, didn't know, you know, and it took me 6 months before I actually found out it was a gay meeting. So keep coming back. More will be revealed. If you're new, stick around, you know, and if you can't identify with one thing that I say here tonight, stick around. There's another meeting here in about an hour and a half or something, right? They got about 49 of them a week here. Yeah. So if there's another meeting, some other bozo will be up here blasted, and you'll identify with something. Don't worry about it. And if you don't think you have a problem, what the hell are you doing here? You know, go watch I Love Lucy or whatever, you know? Because only people who come here are people who have a problem with alcohol or drugs or booze or whatever. You know, we have a problem. We have a problem. And if you're here, you got a problem. So quit if you're, do you think I am? What if I'm just a periodic? What if I, you know, people who don't have a problem with booze and drugs don't go to AA, okay? So just say right now, I give up, I surrender, the war is over, and I lost. You know, that's what I had to say. And I came in to beat the judge because of a drunk driving accident, you know, the umpteenth one. I've been to jail a few times for drinking and driving and driving and drinking and Actually, my first 2 times in jail were for drunk walking. Not public intoxication. No, drunk walking. I beg to differ. If I was walking, how could I be drunk, you know? And if I was drunk, I'd be falling down. I wouldn't be walking, Your Honor. Yes, I'm defending myself. Huh? Whatever, take the car. You know, I liked having a good time. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed having a good time. And when I signed on to this, you know, Scientology cult deal here, I said, you know, if I can't have a good time, I don't want to be here. And I tell you, for a lot of years, it was not fun. Because when I gave up all my, you know, that was fun for a lot of years. I did it for a bunch of years. I enjoyed cocktails. I enjoyed competitive drinking. You know, I like to be in a bar being very competitive with you. You might not even know me, but I got a contest going against, how many, did he just have a double? Shit, give me a double. You know, I'll keep up with that guy. You know, and whatever it was, I got a you know, you don't even know there's a contest going, but I'm winning. You know, that's the way I like to. I'm a competitive drinker and user, and I'm out to prove it. And I met this one guy, big, huge football player, professional football player. 10 years, you know, all pro. And this guy became a friend of mine, and we started drinking and running together. And oh man, he could do some really cool stuff. Like he'd take a brand new bottle of Smirnoff, big quart or half quart. What do you call those things? Not the bigger one than the fifth. That's a quart, right? Quart. And he'd pop the top and it'd go. I mean, that's cool. For an alcoholic, that was really cool. You know, it's like you take a bottle cap and bing, you know, you shoot that bottle cap. Well, he would do it with like a little flying saucer, you know. Oh, come on, how cool is that guy? You know? With a fresh one, he wouldn't even break the seal, okay? You got to be a pro football player to do it, I guess. Because then what he'd do next is take it and go, and you know, like a Sparkletts bottle, when you go like that and you get that little, yes. And he started draining that sucker. And he never got halfway, but I swear he got close. And then he'd give it to old competitive Pork Pete, you know, and I'd go, You know, the thing moved like this much, you know. And it would be like, I hate this guy. This guy's gonna kill me. You know, I hung out with that guy as long as I could. Until, you know, and I don't know exactly the moment when it happened. But all my plates, you know, that I was spinning, or balls, or whatever we call them, they all started crumbling at the same time. Physically, financially, spiritually, familially, all the Lees. All of the Lees surrounded me, and they all kind of collapsed at the exact moment in time. And you know, I hit that, what it says in the big book as incomprehensible demoralization in depth. You know, which I didn't even know what the hell that even meant when I got here. But to me, it meant I didn't like Pete, you know, or anything else. I had nothing nice to say to anybody about anything, anytime. It was just, you know, somebody say, you know, something nice to me, how you doing? You know, the bile that flew out of my mouth was contagious. You know, it was just, you know, exorcist time, wacko. Nice haircut. And when at that first meeting I was at, you know, that little gay candlelight book study up there, everybody was, hi, I'm Bill, hi, I'm Larry, hi, I'm Mary, hi, I'm Terry, hi, I'm Jerry. You know, here's the big book, keep coming back, easy does it, let go and let God. You know, and I'm going, what do these guys want, man? I know they want something from me, but I was 250 pounds, big Irish red pork face. I couldn't even close the collar on my shirt. You know, I was filthy. It was like, what do they want from me? I got nothing. You know, I got nothing. What do they want from me? But I knew they wanted something from me, like my heart or something. You know, it's a Scientology cult thing. They could just want my teeth and blood. You know, I didn't know what they wanted. Nobody's that nice to you. You know, they were giving me coffee and a little donut and a free book, and, you know, I got all this shit here, you know, and wondering what the they want from me, you know? And I went home, I smoked a big doobie, and I thought about it. And I realized that they were trying to be nice to each other for no apparent reason. Blew my mind, you know? Because I remember being nice to people when I was younger. You know, I was a Boy Scout. I was even a Cub Scout, you know? I went to Oranges, door to door and all that stuff. I helped people when they needed help because that's what I was trained to do. That's what they taught me at home to do. But somewhere along the line, I forgot about that part, and I was only helping somebody if there was a little something in it for Pete. You know, a little, something. What do you got for me? You got anything for me? Well, then what's the pernt? You know? Take a hike. Pork breath. I went along for a long time like that before I came farting and burping into these rooms, you know? And that first night, I met this big lesbian by the name of Ann Blair. God rest her soul. She grabbed me by the arm. She became my sponsor that night and dragged me to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And she forced me, I might add, to be the greeter at the door at Camden and Brentwood and Rodeo and all these big-ass meetings. You know, there were greeters there already that were appointed by the proper authorities, you know. She just shoved me on the door and said, move over, you know, pork breath. He's standing here with you. And she stuck me there, you know, and I had to get the resentment of these other two greeters, you know, I'm kind of usurping their job, and I'm kind of going, I'm Peter, 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 I'm Peter. And you guys are all coming through. Hi, I'm Larry. Hi, I'm Mary. Hi, I'm Terry. Hi, I'm Jerry. Hi, I'm Barry. You know, and I was a little self-obsessed, so I never got your name. I'm sorry. You know, I was a little bit caught up in my own. Hi, I'm Peter. 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 Trying to remember and feeling the resentments on both sides of me of these other people who actually had jobs. And that's what I did. You know, I did that for a long time, and then I had sex, sober. You ever tried that one yet? Oh, you're gonna love it. It's gonna blow your mind. First time I mean, I'd had sex before, but I'd always had a little something in me, you know. The first time sober, fortunately I was with somebody with a good sense of humor, because, you know. And, this rigorous honesty bullshit is something else, isn't it? And, you know, and so I couldn't talk to Ann Blair about that because she wasn't equipped, you know what I mean? So I had to find a guy, and I went to this one meeting, and Donald Madden, God rest his soul, was standing up at the podium at Cedars, and he had this pink starched shirt on. He looked clean and happy and fun, and had a little horse on his pocket, and he was having so much fun, and I was not having that much fun, you know, and he was really having fun, and so I went up to him afterwards. I want to be like you. How can I be like you? And he said, all right, you be at this meeting every Sunday night, 6 o'clock, blah, 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 blah. And so I go over to this meeting at Stephen Arode's house, God rest his soul. He used to have this meeting up at his house on Hollywood Boulevard every Sunday night at 6 o'clock, and Donald Madden had all of his babies there. There were like 30 of us. And we all sat in a circle, and we read a step. And we'd go around, and after we read the step, then everybody would go around and share about how they were working that step. You know, and I'd hear these guys share about their personal lives and how they felt about shit, you know. I mean, felt? I didn't even know how I felt, let alone telling somebody how I felt. First of all, you have to know how you feel before you can tell somebody how you feel. How do you, you know, I'd go, at our house, or you'd come home from a date, you know, your dad would say, how was your date? You know, you go, great. Okay, that covered that whole deal, you know. How was it? Fine. That covered that whole deal. You know, we didn't have to go into how we felt about the feeling, the whatever. You know, men hold their mud, you know. You don't hang your laundry in public. I'm done. You know, so here I see these guys are sitting in a circle, you know, telling how they felt about stuff, intimate stuff, how they felt about it. What an order. I can't go through with that. And I'm listening to these guys talking about how they feel, and all of a sudden I said, wait, I did that. Well, I mean, only once or a couple times maybe, you know. And I started telling about kind of the way I felt about stuff because I really wasn't sure. And they have this thing around here, principles before personalities. Well, when I was new, I didn't even know what the hell that even meant. But to me, I started trying to find the personalities that had the principles that I kind of wanted. And at this meeting, you could see it, you know. As I continued to go to these meetings, I continued to hear guys talking about life and how they dealt with it or how they didn't deal with it. And you could see progress in people. And I didn't see my own at all because I was too, you know, inside the forest to even see the tree deal. And I remember I was about a year sober, and I had a job because I owed the IRS $83,000. But I had this job that I had to try to pay them back, you know. And every day I got a job so I could pay them half the check, and it took me 3.5 years, but I paid those bastards off. And my sponsor went down with me. Donald went down with me to help to make the deal with the IRS, by the way. And the deal we made was that I only had to pay him $83,000. I looked at Donald, I said, what the hell kind of a deal is that? He said, well, I said I'd go with you. I didn't say I knew anything about it, you know. Jesus. And so in AA, you don't have to do anything alone. But sometimes it's good to get somebody who knows something about it. Anyway, that was the deal we made. And it took me 3.5 years to pay him back $83,000. Because at that point in my life, I'd never even made $83,000 in a year. But now I owed them for 79, 80, 81, and 82. I never filed. I was busy, you know. And so that was a side trip, and I forget where we were going, but it was really a great ride. And that happens when you do too much acid. I did a little acid, too. And magic mushrooms. I love those. Magic mushrooms were the greatest, you know. I always became an Indian and took off my clothes. And then got airborne. Hopefully over water. You know, I love doing that. man, I'm a product of the 60s and all those psychedelics, you know, and the purple powders and the Osley acid and the all the acids and the mushrooms and I like mushrooms particularly. I like them frozen. I like them chopped up. I like them natural. I like them in a shake. I just love those. I loved what I became. And what'd you become? I became an alcoholic. Hey. I'd have something to wash them down with. Anyway, where was I? Anybody even remember?
$8,000.
Yeah, but we fixed that.
Product of the 60s.
How other people felt, then you saw it, you felt a little bit.
Naked Peter Pan.
Sponsoring the baby.
Yeah. So we're in that room, and everybody's going around sharing. But thank you. I like this. This is a group conscience again. We love that. For one brain. It took 11 of us to finally figure. Okay. So there we are. We're getting sober, you know, and these guys are sharing about stuff, and every 12 weeks, you know, it comes to that fourth step again, you know? And you hear the progress, and if you haven't done anything on it, you get to share that with everybody at that meeting. You know, and so eventually, just out of embarrassment, you got to start doing something about it. And, you know, my sponsor said, God, guide my hand as I prepare to write the inventory of my life. And stick in the sock drawer so no one can see it, you know, if you live with anybody. But fortunately, I didn't live with anybody because who'd have me, you know? And so every night I'd go write a little bit of it, starting at the beginning and writing about, you know, just about chronologically my whole life. Good, bad, whatever, but, you know, stuff that mostly putting down the 5 biggest secrets I had, which I didn't want to tell anybody, including myself or a higher power, which we'll talk about in a second, too, because who knew about that? I mean, I was an altar boy. I stole from the church. God doesn't want to talk to me. I know that. God doesn't like me. I was a bad boy. Bad boy. So, you know, when I heard that guy say, yeah, my second meeting, which was Brentwood, this guy, Alan J. from Pasadena, a banker, suit and tie, very straight. He gets up there and he says, you know, you can't stay sober unless you believe in God. In fact, you got to talk to God out loud, on your knees, twice a day. And I went, what an order. I can't go through with it. You know, because I remember thinking, God doesn't like me, you know, and what's the point? So I guess I can't make this deal. I remember thinking, I guess I can't make this deal. Plus, you had that other thing, 90 meetings in 90 days. Ha! How ludicrous is that? I remember when they say 90 and 90, you know, 90 meetings in 90 days. And I went, oh, come on, please. Don't you have a life? No living human can go to 90 meetings in 90 days. Can't be done. It's impossible. And then, of course, on my 90th day, being the obsessive pork that I am, I'd been to almost 250 meetings in the first 90 days because I'm a pig. I went at getting sober and clean the way I went at getting drunk and high, you know? All day, all night. Let's see if we can squeeze in 4 meetings. Let's see, we went to the log cabin at 7:30 in the morning, then we went to Architects of Diversity at noon, then we went over to Brentwood to 2 plus 2, and then see if we can go to the Pancake House for that midnight meeting, and, you know, just the angst and stuff of trying to stay sober was like so exciting, and I had my little gang, my little sobriety squad, you know? We went to that meeting. Did you hear about the new one? No, where? Oh, let's go. Wham, you know? Like, just as obsessive and compulsive as you can possibly be. That's the way I did it. And it was fun after a while. You know, it started being fun. And I started learning stuff. They said you could pick a higher power. You don't have to take that God that you're scared of and that beats you up. Take one that likes you. You know? So I'd always loved the beach, you know, so I picked the ocean. It's always been my higher power since I've been sober. I can see it. I can touch it. I can go down and talk to it. And I pray to it twice a day, on my knees, out loud. I used to do it in person. Then it just got too hard to get out to that, you know, the car was crashed and I had to take the bus and hitchhike, blah, blah. So I stopped doing it at the beach and I just do it in my bedroom like I heard everyone else was doing it. And, you know, this is 24 and a half years later. I don't know if I believe in God, but I have this friend that I talk to on my knees twice a day out loud that's never beaten me up. You know, never hit on my old lady. Never borrowed my car and didn't return it. I have a friend that I share everything with that eases my dis-ease. I have a disease. a dis-ease. And I have this friend that I share everything with twice a day out loud on my knees that makes it easier for me to get through this shit, you know, that we have to go through sometimes. You know, congratulations. Lynn, is it? Congratulations. I'm sorry to hear that you had, you know, in your 22nd year that you had to deal with 2 deaths. I had to bury both my parents 4 years ago, 6 months apart also, and it was hard. I'm about to cry right now just thinking about it. You know, it's fucking hard. I wasn't trained to do that. I was supposed to be the drunk one. Pat and Poop and Pisshead should have been fucking taking care of them. They're all fucked up, and I gotta go take care of them, you know, and my wife, who came back into my life when I was a year sober, and you know, and we bought a house over there, went to the bank in West Hollywood. Hi, Peter, alcoholic. Oh, here, have the house. They gave me a house. I was 44 years old. I came in here at 37. I was 44 years old before they gave me a credit card. And now I got a wallet full of them. Big, thick wallet full. I got them all. They're up to the max, but I mean, I got them all. I pay them off on time, right on a button every time, you know. And but this wife that came back, you know, and we have a relationship, you know. We didn't have a relationship right off the bat. I mean, she was really jealous of all the babes here, you know, and there's some babes here. Come on. And so I was spending so much time at these meetings. She said, you know, bullshit. You know, so I went over to my sponsor, Donald Madden. I said, Donald, you know, this bitch is killing me, you know? And he said, well, you better tell her that she has a problem. I went, really? What's her problem? And he goes, you. And I went, oh, I get it. You know, hit me over the head, or do you? And so I went back over there and said, hey, sister, you got a problem. And she said, well, what do you mean? And I said, you live with an alcoholic. You better do something about your problem. And she did. You know, she got this Al-Anon meeting. They have a group called Al-Anon. I don't know if you've heard of it. But they meet and have these secret Scientology things of their own. Somewhere in some cave, somewhere in the middle of the oil derrick wells or somewhere. I don't know where they hang out. I've never been to one. I would be scared to death to go because they could, you know, you could end up with a sex change. Who knows what could happen? I'm scared to go. But they teach them stuff there. They teach them things because they taught her to come home and share on a daily basis with her moronic husband what her whole day was. And then I have to tell her about my whole fabulous day. And what happens is you do that on a daily basis and you're up to date in each other's lives, you know. So time doesn't transpire that you're missing out on different sections of each other's lives. Even if you're not together, you talk every day and share about what you did and what the other person did. You learn to listen and you learn to share. And what happens is when the shit hits the fan for one of you, the other one can help unplug the fan because they're up to date in your life. They know what's going on. All of a sudden, you're not screaming and yelling at this asshole because 17 little resentments about the toothpaste cap not on too tight or whatever build up to the point where this explosion happens and you hate this person that you used to love. You know, because of these little pustule things that all get together and you know, blow all over you because you didn't tell them about the time well, I like the napkin on the left, not the right. Oh, really? Well, how about that? You know, and so you share on a daily basis what's going on. You can help each other get through this trip, which is an unbelievable deal. Unbelievable. How can we deal with this shit all day long, you know? Driving. How about that one? Oh, my God. It's all I can do. Not to... Oh, sorry. I was looking for my parking space. You know? They give us tools here. Tools to deal with the stuff we haven't never been able to deal with. It's amazing. And we're all over the world is all. That's all. We're only all over the world. Okay? I went to a Maori meeting in New Zealand. We were all there. Speaking Maori, but I got the picture. They even bought me coffee. You know? I got the hug, Maori hug. tattoo neck, Maori hug, have a coffee. I showed up and they were there for me. You know, we're everywhere. It's so much fun, this deal. I mean, it is so much fun. My wife and I had this little about 4 years into the deal. My sponsor said, well, you know, it sounds like you guys are trying to hang on to the reins here. Who's running the power? Who's got the power deal here, you or her? And I went, what do you mean? We turn our will and our lives over the care of a higher power, I think. Isn't that what it says here? You know, he said, I tell you what, why don't you take her out on her birthday for a balloon ride? Yeah, okay. So I woke her up at 4 o'clock in the morning on her birthday. I said, hop in, sweetheart. Taking you for a birthday present. Put a jacket on and get some tennis shoes. Let's go. Climb in the car, go to sleep. I drove to Paris, California. Round to the bend there just as the sun's coming up and all these balloons are taking off and blowing up and getting in all different, beautiful. And we found ours and went over there, paid the guy. We hopped in this thing and just fly. That's all you hear. Every once in a while, guy throws a little heat on the thing. It goes a little higher. Let's go over there. I want to go over there. It goes wherever it wants to go, okay? You want to find out who's in charge? I want to land over there. Okay, I want to go down now. Now. You know, I'm telling you, we both went, oh. I get it. Oh, I get who's running the deal, you know? And who knew it was going to be this much fun? Who knew? I never had a 1-year birthday. I never had a 5-year, a party. I never had a 5-year. I was thinking, when I hit 10, I'm going to rent the Coliseum and everyone's going to be there. It's going to be great, you know? And of course, you know, 10 came and it found the two of us in a little cabin at the top of the Grand Canyon south rim, in this little cabin, and it was my birthday is January 26th, so it's like snowing, and we went to this cabin, and then we rented the cabin at the bottom, and we hiked down to the bottom, which was like cool. Hey, bang, 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 bouncing down the canyon, you know. And she didn't like it because her toes were like jammed in her tennis shoes, kind of going downhill, and she was doing it slowly because of the ice and the snow and the stuff. But I was, hey, bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, I'm bouncing down. I get to the bottom, the Colorado River's there. I take all of my clothes because I love to get naked, and I dive into the freezing. Wah, wah. Oh, I'm sober. Oh, yeah, I'm 10 years sober. Yeah, man. And no one's there. I mean, it's freezing, you know. And we went into the little cabin, spent the night, woke up the next morning, and hiked out. And the last couple of miles, my thighs exploded off of my legs. I mean, exploded off of my legs. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. I'll never do it again. Okay? I should have maybe trained a little, she was out walking like 8 miles every, you know. I said, I'm fine. You know, I went down there, and I mean, they exploded. I kept saying, are we almost there? And people would be coming down. Oh, just another mile. And I would walk for a half an hour. You know, hey, are we almost there? Yeah, just another mile. Oh, they did that forever, man. We made it to the top. It was one of the greatest things I ever did. I had so much fun, and I tell you, my legs didn't even hurt the next day. You know, I mean, I played tennis or played football or played something, and the next day was always, oh. I think I stretched these muscles so far that they were like new muscles. They were like brand new. I got a whole new deal, you know, because nothing even hurt the next day. But it was unbelievable experience. That was my 10th anniversary. This is like the coolest deal ever, this AA thing. I practiced the principles in all my affairs. Practice, like I hate practice. I like the game, you know. I hate practice, I hate rehearsal, I like the show. I like the game. I like being in there and playing. I don't like to practice. You know, me and Iverson, man, we don't like practice. We like the game. And anyway, in this deal, you have to practice the principles. I practiced the principles for like 12 years. Until they became automatic. Being of service became automatic. The phone and ring, you know, I used to have to practice it. The phone and ring, I go, Oh, yeah, Ronnie, what is it today? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, right, well, take 2 meetings and call me in the morning. Blah, blah, flocking, blah, blah, blah. Hi, Joe, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, your life sounds like it sucks. Take 4 meetings and see you sponsor number 2. Blah, blah. Oh, I just hate that part, you know? Oh, God, but that's the deal. So I practiced doing that stuff until it became automatic. Now the phone rings. Yeah? Meet you where? Yeah, well, okay, see you over at 3 o'clock. Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll do an inventory there. Okay, great. Yeah, okay, fine. Help you move? Fine. What do you need? Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, fine. That's all. Automatic, yes, no matter what. Can you speak down in Cleveland and walk there on your... Sure, no problem. Yeah. Oh, you mean the Cleveland National Forest? Sure, I'll walk barefoot. Yeah, no problem. No, throw the shoes away. You got it. Whatever it is, just show up and go, you know? For the last 12 years, it has been so much fun because all of a sudden you're on automatic pilot and this thing of giving it away, it just comes back. It's unbelievable, you know? It's, the beauty of this is the joy that you actually get hanging out with yourself. I never liked being alone. I was one of those guys that got off the plane, took my 2 suitcases, opened up the door, put them in there, closed the door, and went to the bar. I didn't want to be alone. No one's in there. What am I going to do, you know? Who can I talk to? I want to be at the bar where I can tell everybody about, hey, yeah, I won the Super Bowl. Well, I could have, but they didn't pick me. They picked him. You know. So now, today I grouted this tile around this sink outside my like a barbecue thing and made this little doors and you know and it was like 155 degrees today. I should have been drunk having cocktails, ice cold beers. And I was out there sweating and dripping and grouting this. My hands are like little raw whatever, and I had a blast doing it. I had this garden in the backyard that I love. You know, I never gardened anything in my life. I never, I grew up at the beach. We don't, ice plants, all that grows there. I grow everything in my backyard now. I got a fig tree. I make 120, 140 jars of fig jam every year. And if you're a close friend, you get a jar of the fig jam and a zucchini bread with my zucchini that I made. There you go. Have a zucchini and a jam on me. You know? And it's pretty damn good. I've been doing it for 20-something years now. I'm getting good at the zucchini bread deal. And, it's so much fun. It's so much, this whole deal is so much fun. And like Chuck C used to say, for fun and for free. And I already talked over, but thanks for letting me share.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected. even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.